Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's show. My name is Jorge Montes. Welcome to Rojo Kitchen, and welcome to today's homemade chef's cooking class. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to settle down. Put down whatever you're working on. Call your friends, your family, the kids, everybody, and I'm going to introduce today's recipe. Today we're going to make a classic dish from Laos, and also they make it in northern Thailand. I'm sure they fight for it, but it's called larb. And this one that we're going to make today is a pork larb. So it's ground pork, of course, fish sauce, main ingredient in Thai cuisine and Laos cuisine. And we're going to serve these. It's almost like a taco, lettuce taco. We're going to serve them in a taco form in a little romaine and Boston bib lettuce. We're going to do some red onions, some mint in there. It should be really nice. And also have some wine that we're going to pair with that from our friend Harmeet at Fine Spirits in Cooper City. All right, so if you guys are ready, remember, you know the rules, or you know how it goes. Please feel free to ask any questions. Joe's behind the scenes. He's going to be helping answer along. If you want to donate, Joe's also putting some our cash apps, and if you want to donate to our Feeding the Essentials campaign, you're welcome to do so. Other than that, I miss you guys. Happy Tuesday. Let's get this party started. All right. I, I feel like I'm going to start with the wine because I want to give you a couple pointers of it, and I want to let it breathe. And if you haven't been to any of our wine tastings, this is a good time to segue to let you know that where the hell you been? You should be at a wine tasting. We do amazing stuff. We do 3 courses, 3 wines. We pour the wine. We have a sommelier. Sometimes we have the makers. We had a guy from Scotland. We had last week. We had someone from Tennessee or Kentucky and Tennessee, Kentucky playing a guitar, and it's pretty fun. So if you haven't been a part of it, I encourage you to do so. So right now, I'm going to introduce to you a Riesling from New Zealand. This is a 2015 Riesling from Mount Beautiful. Beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite Riesling. So this is from New Zealand. This is 2015. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it. I'm just going to open it up, let it breathe, do its thing. Um, and I'll show you how it pairs. But whenever you do pairings, I always like to taste the wine first, and then we do the food. And when I'm cooking, I always like to taste the wine first. So, cheers, guys. Happy Tuesdays. All right. So, let me put this to the side. Let's get cooking. All right. So, what we're first going to start is we have some ground pork. Now, I love this recipe for a couple reasons. I've done this in many different iterations of it. You can do anything that's ground. So it could be beef, it could be chicken, it could be turkey, it could be ground shrimp, it could be ground salmon, any protein that you can ground. This is pork. It's really nice. So we're going to start with the pork. I'm going to put that in a bowl. All right. I'm going to get my gloves on too because we're going to mix this up. And since I don't have a sink, I don't feel like getting my hands full of pork. But I normally like to get my hands in there. All right. So this is ground pork. If you want to go vegan with it, then you can, do some cauliflower rice, and this will work. You can do a cauliflower larb, and it'll be funky. So a little bit of sea salt or kosher salt. Doesn't have to be the fancy salt. I always have kosher salt is normally my go-to for cooking. And if I want to finish an item or give it a delicate touch or a touch of a different, uh, tasty salt, then I use like a sea salt or something like that. All right. So next we're going to marinate this. I'm going to put a little bit of lime juice, half of the lime juice that the recipe calls for. And the recipes are going to be what on our website, right, Joe? Yeah, we're going to have the link up. So let's link up and do this together. So I'm going to marinate this with fresh lime juice, salt, and a little bit of chili flakes. Now, the chili flakes in the recipe, that's up to you how hot you want it. So don't put the whole thing and then blame it on me that it's spicy. It's supposed to be a spicy dish. This is Thai cuisine. Thai cuisine, they're masters of the sours. So sour, like the sour flavor, so you get the fish sauce that's funky. If you're scared of it, don't be. It's almost like soy sauce. It's just a little more. It sounds scary because the word fish is in it. So we have this little red chili flakes. I'm gonna put about half of them. If you have fresh chilies, this is a good time also to substitute with that. And if you guys have any questions with substitutions or allergies or whatnot, now is a good time to ask them. If you want to say hello, say hello. Joe will give you a little shout out. Anybody on the lines, caller number 9, welcome to call. Yeah, I know. It's Tuesday. You guys are falling asleep on me. So, salt, lime, chili, and we're chilling. All right. So now I'm just gonna mix this up with the lime, and this is a very interesting recipe. The first time I did it, I was very intrigued how you marinate stuff with lime. So right now the lime is just searing in the flavor. The acid is gonna cook into the pork along with the chili in there. So this is gonna be all sautéed, and the way that we saute is pretty cool as well. So I'll show you a little bit more about that. So I like the techniques, and this dish is so easy that you can definitely do this over. So I'm gonna wrap this up, put it in the fridge for half an hour. You can probably even do it overnight. Set it aside. All right. Let me taste this wine. All right. Beautiful thing about wine is good to taste it as you cook. You know, as you eat. You know, I taste it as soon as it opened. Now I get a lot of citrusy, and this is a beautiful Riesling. I like New Zealand Rieslings are interesting. Also, Sauv Blancs. They have a very fruity tropical notes. They're on islands, so they get these breezes from the ocean down there. So you're really tasting the terroir, the land, wherever this comes from. I just read on the notes. There's a little honeysuckle. There's lemon. There's some melon in there, some mint, and there's mint in the recipe today. So this is tasting really nice. This is really good. So while that's marinating, I'm gonna get a pan. This is a nonstick pan. You can use any kind of pan. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna get that nice and hot. Next ingredients that we're gonna have lined up is our pork that's marinating. I have a little bit of water in this fancy little vessel, but that's just water, any kind of water, any water that you would drink. And I'm gonna start slicing some red onions. I'm just gonna do half of that. And you're gonna cut them really nice and thin. In French, they call this cut julienne. The French chefs named everything after a queen or maybe an ex-girlfriend or something. So nice and thin, this is gonna add a little crunch. And after this, I'm gonna introduce to you the rest of the ingredients. All right, if anybody's on, Joe, you can let me know at any given time. All right, so red onions, thinly sliced. The thinner the better. It'll be nice and crunchy. All right, we'll put that over here to the side. Next, what we're gonna have ready, we have some toasted and ground rice. Yes, rice. So you get raw rice. You could toast it in the pan. You put it in the pan and just move it around till it's nice and brown. Or you could put it in the oven, and it takes a little longer in the oven. I like doing it in the pan. You get more of that char, and you get this little nutty, almost like a toasted peanut kind of sense of it. So this is what that is right here. I don't know if you can see that from afar. Gives you a little crunch. It's toasted. Very subtle, very interesting ingredient. So it's one of the exciting things about this dish. Cooking with toasted ground rice, raw rice. All right, and our fish sausage is ready to go right here. All right, so the pan is hot. I think we're ready to go. Nice and hot. How do you know it's hot? Don't touch the pan. I like to hover my hand above, and if it, and in this case, I can actually see the steam. I don't know if you guys can, but I see the steam heating up. So now this is an interesting technique. There's no oil in this recipe. So if you want to cook healthy and light and fat-free or oil-free, this is the way to go. So I call this pan steaming, where you get the pan really hot. You're going to put a little bit of water, and then you add your product in there. So as you put in there, the water is boiling, not a lot of water, and we're going to put the rest of this stuff in there. All right. So we're gonna mix this around. You want to mix this around because you're not making meatballs and you don't want chunks of this. You want this nice small, almost like a taco, ground beef taco consistency. Give this a stir around, and we'll mix this up and break it up. Remember, this is on high heat. So once you hit the pan, you want to commit to this. You don't want to drink your wine and forget that you're cooking. So we're breaking this up. I'm gonna let this cook a little bit more, and then I'm gonna continue breaking it up. While I wait for that, I'm gonna pluck some of my mint. So fresh mint, indigenous ingredient over there in Thailand, Southeast Asia. So we can use any kind. This is a spearmint, but there's different kinds of mints. They have the chocolate mint. There's a bunch of other mints. So either one works. Mint is good. If you don't have mint, a good substitute for this would be cilantro. It's fresh, it's funky, it's lime. Basil works as well too. So any delicate, very powerful herb like mint, basil, they're very unique and they can carry their own weight over here. So just gonna plug the leaves and do that. Any questions over there, Joe?
No questions. Just Renee Green says hello.
Hey Renee, hey
Rachel
doctor.
Benson, Maria Juicy, Sandy Steele, everybody saying hello.
Thank you guys. Good to see you. All right, so we have our onion, we have our rice, and that's the next ingredient that's gonna join us. So this should be for about 3 minutes. Right now, maybe Joe will give us a little zoom in right here. A zoom and a boom boom. So this is halfway there. There's still a little pink in there, so the pink means it's raw in pork. So we want to cook that fully. Return that to the heat. And remember, there's some fat from the pork, so that is going to work in there as this cooks. But we did not saute this with any oil. This is a pan steaming technique that works really nice. So if you want to eat healthier, that's one quick way to eliminate oils in your recipes. It's just putting a little bit of water. Sounds kind of funky, but you can literally use water to saute. I'm not revolutionizing things. They're doing this in Thailand, right? But I that was a technique that I liked. I think it applies really well with healthy cooking and doing that. All right, so I'm just gonna keep breaking that up, and literally the salt that is used normally in Southeast Asia is fish sauce. This is your sodium. So if you never had fish sauce before, this is made from, I'm not even going to fully describe. Go Google that, and you'll see there's like dehydrated fish bones, and they age it, and it becomes this serum, almost like this soy sauce type ingredient. And I'll give you a little look into the darkness of fish sauce. If you smell it, it smells funky. Can't lie about that. First time I smell fish sauce, I'm like, I'm not putting that in my mouth. It smells like a cat got run over by a reindeer. Uh, but it's actually really good. So don't hate on the fish sauce until you try it. And I like mine spicy, so I'm gonna add a little more chili flakes in there. You can put fresh bird's eye chili in there that goes really good. And we'll taste it. Like I always say it. You're the chef of your kitchen. You want to taste stuff before you serve it. So I'm gonna taste a little bit of meat in here, some of the sauce. I want to get some of that liquid to reduce. I don't want this to be soupy. You want it kind of you want it moist, but you don't want it a soup or like stew. Mm. I think salt wise is good. I'm gonna wait till I add the rest of my components, which is my toasted ground rice, a red onion, and our mint. The mint is gonna add some herbaceousness, some freshness to the dish. The onion is gonna add this bite, this crunch, and there's a vegetable. If you want to add some other vegetables, you know, we can bastardize this recipe and switch it to many things. But this is the purest way. And the rice, I like this here because it's also going to help thicken it up. So I'm going to put the rice now.
Got a question from Rachel.
All right, we got a question from Rachel.
When you use water to saute, does it need to get to like boiling in order to saute?
All right, so the question was when you use water to saute, like what I just did here today, or pan steaming, um, you do want it to get hot. So you want the pan extremely hot. It was smoking, and you want to add the water. So as soon as the water hits, the water is going to start evaporating, and it's going to be a quick roaring boil. That quick that it's going to start evaporating within the 30 seconds. So you really want it really hot. All right, so we added the ground toasted rice. I'm adding some of these onions in here, and I'm gonna add half of the mint. The rest I'm gonna put it on top. So I'm breaking up the mint. You wanna give it a little. You've been a bad boy, Pat. That's gonna help release all the oils from the mint. Give this a toss up. If you want to get fancy, flip it, flick of the wrist kind of deal, or continue with your spoon. Don't challenge yourself. You want to practice that technique. Practice that with a cold pan and some dry rice and beans somewhere that you can practice your flick of the wrist motion.
Another question from Amy.
All right, we got a question from Amy. Hey, Amy.
Where can she buy bird's eye chili?
Bird's eye chili. Where can you buy bird's eye chili? So, I, I'm going to talk to Food Town, which is my favorite ethnic store in Davie Road and Sterling Road, and they have bird's eye chili. But you can use Serrano chilies. That works really well if you cannot find them. Similar, spicy, and vibrant. All right, so this is looking amazing. This is cooked already. This is how quick this is. This is done. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna check for flavor one more time, and I'm gonna add maybe a little bit of fish sauce if it needs salt. I'd rather instead of using salt, you wanna add your savory or your saltiness with the fish sauce. It's gonna taste authentic. As someone from Laos. Hmm, really, really nice. And just those few ingredients add a lot of flavor. So I am gonna add the fish sauce. I'm gonna refrain from the hot sauce because I do gotta feed some people. I don't want it too spicy. So I'm gonna give this another mix up, and we can add a little more mint in there. This is the quirks where I always say you're the chef of your kitchen. If you want to add more mint and give it that more freshness, go for it. If you like the onions, you can put a little bit more on top. That's up to this is art. It's subjective. And it's up to you. All right. It's so now the next thing we're gonna do. You can serve this a couple ways. You can put this in a bowl and you can line it up beautifully, like a platter, something like this, where you can put the bowl and you fill that up with the larb, and then you put all yours like make yourself taco kind of party. Or we can just make our own tacos now. So this is a romaine leaf. This is works really good. They're a little longer, but it's almost like a canoe. Or you can use also these delicate, sexy little Boston bib, which I love for sandwiches and I love for lobster rolls and whatnot. So we're gonna do these bibs, and I'll do one of these romaine. We'll make four little tacos. All right, and I'm also gonna plate some up here. And again, you could make this with turkey. Turkey is phenomenal for this. Chicken, ground beef, easy, quick recipe here. This is our boat from Laos to Thailand. And so you're gonna fill up your little tacos, in this case, or your bowl or whatever serving vessel you like. Remember, don't go crazy. It's a lettuce wrap. It's not gonna hold all this if you load it too much. So don't go crazy with this. All right, put that in there. It's good. I like to garnish with a little bit of crunchy onion. So put a little bit of raw onion right on top of these guys. Give it a nice little sexy appeal. Get that little extra crunch. I'm gonna sprinkle some more of this rice. I know it sounds funky, but it's raw rice that is roasted and ground. And add a just little nice crunch. And you can put some extra mint leaves. Just break up in there. Add a little freshness. Also, you can add a little squeeze of fresh lime if you like. So I have my little chunks of lime cut up, and you can just kind of sprinkle that on top. Keep that in there. Boom. All right. So any questions before I'm gonna sip a little bit of the wine. I'm gonna have one, and I'm gonna see if you guys have any final questions before I show you what this beaut looks like right here. Is there any questions?
No question.
No questions. All right. Good. All right. Just checking. I'm all alone, guys. All right. So I'm gonna try this, and then I'm gonna try the wine. So look at that. Put a little more onion in my larb here. Nice, cooked. It didn't brown. I didn't really saute it too much. It was just kind of steamed in the pan with the water. Mm. I hate to pat my own back, but this is good. Nice. You get the fat from the pork, then you get the funk from the fish sauce. You get the little crunchiness from the rice. You think, what is this? A peanut? You don't even know what it is. So I always like the what they call in French the je ne sais quoi. Like, what is that? So that was a ground peanut, ground rice. Sorry. And then you contrast with a nice wine like this Riesling from New Zealand, from Mount Beautiful. It just makes everything so beautiful. So I'm gonna have this one bite. I'm gonna show you what I got here. Mm, mm, that was delicious. All right. So you guys have no final questions. I'm gonna send you off to La La Land or go back. Please try this recipe. We're gonna post this on our website. It's gonna be up, or go to our Facebook page. And also check out, we have a bunch of upcoming events coming up. So please check us out. Go to Fine Spirits. You can get this Riesling for $22.99. If you mention that you're a homemade chef and you saw this uh, video, you get $2 off. So run over there, get your wine, go get some pork, and let's larb.
We just got flooded with questions.
And we got some questions, last minute questions, of course.
Do you grind the rice after roasting or before?
No, after roasting.
The
So
roasting?
the question was, do you ground the rice before or after roasting? I do it. I roast the rice first and then I grind it.
And then does the rice stay crunchy when you cook it with the meat, or does the rice cook?
Yeah, since it's raw, the rice is not. It's a quick cook, so it almost resembles like a crunchy peanut. It is going to be crunchy.
Everybody else looks great. Thank you, Chef.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Enjoy. Have a pleasant night.